FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
All these stories kind of pertain to this idea that, it's all about other people. When your friends know what you're up to, it just turns out that you get magical powers. It's like, in each of these cases, I think the same effect's happening. I used to work at Nokia for a short period, and one of the things that I think any big company kind of looks at is, well, for instance, when we talk about marketing, the future of this stuff, like stuff that I was just referring to, it's like, oh, well, for instance, we'll get these automatic recommendations about, where to rent a car or where to, go to get a restaurant or something. And it turns out that it's already happening, but it's not automatic marketing bots that are spamming us, but it's like, I have a similar experience of, where I think about 2 weeks ago, I was out searching for baby clothes for our newborn kid, and it was the first time I actually had to go shopping for baby clothes. And it turns out most of the baby clothes out there, I don't know if you've had a look, but man, let me tell you, they're not very cool. Here, and I definitely, it was getting cold, our kid was going to be ill unless I found some cool clothes for him to wear, but I just simply couldn't bring myself to buy all that crap. And I knew what was going to happen, when I would bring that home, and I'd have to bring it back to the store and try to get a refund. So without having any idea where to go, I kind of frustrated, posted that on Jaiku. I could have as well posted it on Hives or on Twitter, I think. And immediately, within minutes, I had, over 20 responses from people who had faced the same problem in my extended network of friends and were able to recommend places where I could get cool baby clothes. And, it's this kind of stuff. It's just very everyday, mundane stuff. People always wonder, what's the use of this stuff? It's so mundane. There's nothing that special about it. And I think that's the secret. It's not special. It's about people and their everyday things.
Yeah, Linda,
Thanks,
I think
that's great. Go
Jyri
ahead,
said
Biz.
it perfectly. I mean, he called it some kind of magic, and that's exactly what I was in Rotterdam a couple of weeks ago, and I just made up this term for exactly that. And social alchemy, I think, is a good term for it, because it's like back when they used to try to take something worthless and turn it into something valuable. And you can look at any one of these messages individually, like a lot of critics will do when they look at really any one of these types of services. They'll take one message out and they'll say, this person's saying they're shopping for baby clothes, who cares? But in reality, what happens is he gets some value out of it, or they get some value out of it. Something of value comes out of these this mundane messages.
It's like
so
that particular place,
you really have
that
to,
particular time.
You really, unfortunately, have to try it in order before you realize the value.
Matt, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think that's it's one of those things where these individual droplets of information, as you say, or these individual times that you say something, that nothing happens immediately. Often, I think you see reviews of, I saw a review, I think of Twitter, where they were saying, this is kind of useless, I don't see the point. And someone had gone and checked out the journalist, and they hadn't actually started following anyone on Twitter. They'd looked at the Twitter homepage, which is just the undifferentiated statements of, millions of people. Right. And it's when I think all these services slowly work their way into your life. And when something happens, like the baby clothes thing, then they've got you. Yeah. It's like, I feel like I'm together with my people, even as I travel the world or as I shop for baby clothes.
How many of you feel like without these services, your life wasn't as rich as it is now? It's better with these services.